So, Tim, it's Tuesday, the 9th
It
of
is.
February. Last
Yep.
night we did, 50 years ago today, where were you thing? It was Super Bowl V, blah, blah, blah. Colts,
Yeah, it was a great.
Cowboys.
I thought that was fun.
It was fun. Memory lane. We walked down memory lane. You want to do it again?
Look, I'm a creature of habit. I would do the same thing and eat the same thing every day if you gave me that opportunity. So let's do it.
So I
What
don't
do you
know.
got?
I don't know what year it was, but on this date, the Beatles came to the United States on the 7th, and they were on the Ed Sullivan show on February the 9th. Now, Tim Seymour, I think they played 3 songs. You want to just sort of shoot them out there and
Yeah, I
guess
mean, first
as
of
to
all,
what songs?
what year was that? I want to say 64. I don't know.
60. You think you're right there? 65? I mean, I don't have. Yeah, I mean, ish.
I don't
right?
know. I mean, Sully ran the joint, man. You made the Ed Sullivan show. I mean, first of all, my understanding is from the estate is that Ed's a big fan of commercial break, his people, his handlers. But can you imagine being on the Ed Sullivan show when in fact that was the kingmaker, and they were already kings when they got here. So the songs that they sang on that show, Please,
I mean, obviously,
Please
early
Me.
Beatles. Please,
Please Me.
Bang.
That's their first album, I believe, in '63.
Meet
Please,
the
Please
Beatles, right?
Me. Yeah. Then how about She Loves You? That was a big.
I think
right?
that was one of them, and I think
What else you got?
with
You
love
seem to be
from
on
me,
top of this.
with love from me to you. I think those were the 3 songs.
Was it called With Love from Me to You? Or was it just From Me to You?
Probably just From Me to You.
I don't know. I mean, it's
the songs
implied. It's implied there's love there.
The titles were a little shorter back then. But think about the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan show and being in that crowd. The Doors were on the Ed Sullivan show. The Stones were on the Ed Sullivan show. To your point, that was a kingmaker.
He was cool. And you know what people don't know about the Beatles and I don't think you give them as much credit as I do, and that's fine, for their influence on rock and roll. And I would bet if you asked the Stones, they would call them the most influential. And I bet the Who would say that too. I don't know if Jimmy Page and Robert Plant would, and that's all you care about. And that's fair. But the Beatles, for all of their impact, were a band, at least a recording, producing band, for all of how many years?
Probably 7, if I had to guess. Maybe
10,
less.
10. But I mean, you
10?
obviously.
Is that, yeah?
Yeah, you knew where I was going. You know what? They were a band from 1960 to 1970, but I think their first album didn't come out till '63. So boom, you got it.
Yeah,
I think
it's ish. They didn't think about it. I mean, because they broke up early. I mean, I think he announced Wings Across America on like February 7th, whatever year that was. So they were. I mean, it was a flash in terms of the scope of bands. I mean, it wasn't a long time, but you're right. I am not a huge Beatles guy, but I understand the impact that the Beatles had. And I will tell you just my opinion. I think, and we've done this before, but George Harrison was the most talented person in that band.
No, but I mean, I know why you're doing that. It's an interesting debate to have because he didn't get enough limelight and he was clearly bitter about it. But I mean, I look at Paul McCartney and I say that guy could write a pop song in his sleep. He's been relevant, ever since. That's Sir Paul McCartney to you. And if I'm going with the song, which song do you want? Your choice. Which of these 3 songs are you going to tell me is actually a song about today's marketplace?
Please, Please Me. I think that's the one. I mean, and I think that's what the market is saying to, central bankers. And I think, the Reddit crowd and like everything is just, it's instant gratification. Please, Please Me and do it now. And that to me is a song, that song written, however, 50 something years ago is a song that resonates today.
I hear you. I think my themes would be the same because it's true that the Beatles were really writing about the Federal Reserve, and From Me to You, I think is ultimately the story. It's essentially from the printing presses of the United States treasuries to those who are in a position to have and hold assets. From Me to You. And then, if she loves you, then it can't be that bad, and it will actually be a case where it's absolutely fine if she loves you and the Fed does love you, and so that's the sense that markets have. And I know the fundamental argument around DeFi, guys, is what the cool kids call it. They call it DeFi. That's decentralized finance. So Bitcoin's been in the news for a lot of different reasons. Many would just say it's where we're supposed to go in the digital age, and that this is the natural evolution of the digital economy. Some would say this doesn't happen with the printing presses at working overnight and heaving under the weight of monetary policy. I think that's also fair. I mean, look what's going on in the cannabis markets that I'm so close to. Look what's going on in other new asset classes. Look at what's going on just with SPACs and the amount of liquidity that's being thrown at anything that has a yield. And again, that's for institutions that normally, I don't know. I mean, would be needing traditional products and are now being forced to reach at the risk curve, and that's a little bit dangerous.
It's a lot of bit dangerous. And it's interesting you mentioned DeFi. I didn't know what that meant, and I'm glad you told me because I've seen it all over the Twitter, the hashtag DeFi. But my quick question to you is, does your band None the Wiser or None the Richer or None the something? Do you guys copy? None the Wiser. Do you guys cover any Beatles songs?
By the way, so None the Wiser is the name of the band, and the wives all hang out, and a couple of them are musicians, and they've got their band is called All the Wiser. Anyway, sure. So sorry, what was the question?
Do you cover the Beatles?
Yeah, we actually have a pretty nice acoustic version of Dear Prudence.
See, that would be like the last Beatles song I would pick to cover.
And then we do a decent cover of Revolution. And I mean, that's just a great tune. I don't care who's performed it. We've tried a little Helter Skelter. By the way, I think the Motley Crue version of Helter Skelter is one of the best versions. But
well, I mean, yeah, noted. I would see if I were you guys, just to I would do like The Night Before. A great harmonies in that song. I think that would be a fun song that your audience would appreciate. That a lot of people don't cover. I'm just throwing that out there in case you guys want to run with that over the next few months when you do get back together.
I like where you're taking us. I'm not sure I love where the Fed is taking us, but right now, Guy, I say adieu. We are on the magical mystery tour of markets. Enjoy yourself.
Which is, by the way, a great album. I got to tell you something. We should talk about Magical Mystery Tour and some of the great songs that people don't talk about. But that's
what do you got?
No, we'll do it another time. That's for another commercial break.
See you, Sergeant Pepper.
See you later.